Okay, in today's work, we're going to talk about two different concepts which are very important in physics. So the first of those is density and the second is temperature. Okay, we'll start then with density. So we have learned about density before, so you remember that it tells us how much mass there is in a certain volume. Okay, so this is not something we're doing for the first time. We have done this before. Imagine you have a kilogram of iron and a kilogram of feathers. Now, we did talk about this in class, I remember, and some people found it quite tricky to understand. Okay, you'll remember that mass is a measure of how much stuff there is, of how much matter there is in an object, okay, and it's measured in kilograms. Okay, so here we have 1 kilogram of iron, all right, and here we have 1 kilogram of feathers. Okay, now it's really important that you see that these have the same mass. They both have a mass of 1 kilogram. Okay, so if the mass is the same, and the mass is a measure of how much matter there is, it means that there's the same amount of matter in these two objects. Okay, so they would weigh the same on Earth. You know, so there's that famous, it's a common joke question you can ask someone. You can say, what weighs more, a kilogram of iron or a kilogram of feathers? People always say a kilogram of iron, even though if they're both a kilogram, they both must weigh the same. All right. However, as you can see the way I've drawn it here, the kilogram of iron will be much smaller than the kilogram of feathers, and hopefully that's easy for you to understand. All right, because obviously in here, in your kilogram of iron, that's just going to be a block of iron, but in your kilogram of feathers, you know, you're going to have these light feathers, and you would need a really big box of feathers for it to be a kilogram. Okay, so here we have quite a small volume, whereas here we have a relatively large volume, right? And so they're going to have different values for the density. And you'll remember, okay, so here we can say, although the mass is the same, the volumes are very different. This tells us their densities must be different. We can work out the density using the equation. Density is their mass divided by their volume. All right, so you can see that this is going to be high density, and this will be low density. Okay, and that's because here we have the same amount of mass in a very, very small volume, and here we have the same amount of mass in a very, very large volume. All right, and remember, density is a measure of how much stuff there is in a certain volume. So in the iron, all that matter is squashed together into that tiny little space, whereas in the feathers, it's more spread out. All right, so let's do some examples. For example, the mass of all the air in this classroom, well, not this classroom, but you know, if we were in our classroom in the biology lab, it would be 3 kilograms. And the volume of the classroom is about 200 meters cubed. So we can calculate the density as simply the mass divided by the volume. So if we do that calculation, which is 3 divided by 200, I get 0.015. All right, and the units will be, what are the units of mass? Kilogram, divided by the units of volume, meters cubed. So it's kilograms divided by meters cubed. Okay, so that means that in every meter cubed, I get 0.015 kilograms, which makes sense because then if I have, so 1 meter cubed is 0.015 kilograms, 200 meters cubed gives me 3 kilograms. So I've got here 5 questions that I'd like you to do, all right? And you don't need to worry about the units. Okay, so here, just give it as kilograms per meters cubed, kilograms per meters cubed. Here you can give it as grams per centimeters cubed, so you can leave this as grams. And then this one, I want you to change this, so I want the answer in kilograms per meters cubed, so this needs to change to kilograms. Okay, and for the final question, it's just a different type of unit, but you should be able to work out from the question how you need to do that one. Okay, so what I'd like to do is just pause the video now and answer those questions. Okay, so you should have answered those questions. If you haven't, you've still got a chance to pause it. Otherwise, we're going to crack on. So for the first calculation, it's very straightforward. So density equals our mass, 1.6, divided by our volume, 0.2. If I do that, 1.6 divided by 0.2, I get 8 kilograms per meters cubed. So a very, very large density. All right. So this is a very common low density for a gas, whereas this would be a more common density for a solid. Here, next one, working out the density of a liquid. So we've got 0.5 divided by 0.5. It's kilograms divided by meters cubed. It's going to give us 1 kilogram per meter cubed. Okay, and that actually is the density of water. All right, so a kilogram of water. Sorry, I should have said that's not the density of water. The density of water is actually much larger than that, but this is just for the purposes of the calculation. Okay, next, here we're asked for grams, and we're given grams, so we don't need to worry about it. So it's density equals 200 divided by, oh, and it's centimeters, and we're asked for centimeters. 200 divided by 5 is going to be 40 grams per centimeter cubed. Now, next question. We want it in kilograms, but we're given it in grams. So first of all, we need to convert this to kilograms. So that's 0.5 kilograms. So my density is 0.5 divided by 0.0006. So I do that, 0.5 divided by 0.0006. I get 833 kilograms per meter cubed, which I think is that actually is quite close to the density of sugar. And finally, the mass of 2 litres of alcohol, which is the density of 0.9 kilograms per litre. Okay, so we can do this a couple of ways. We can think first, well, I know that density is mass divided by volume. And if I put all my numbers in, so I know the density is 0.9. The mass is what I want to know. And I know that we've got 2 litres, so the volume is 2, yeah, because a mass of 2 litres, and I'm given the density in kilograms per litre. I can now times both sides of this equation by 2, times by 2, times by 2, and I will get 1.8 equals my mass. Okay, so it's 1.8 kilograms. Okay, and that makes sense because if I've got 2 litres, let's say that's my first litre, that's my second litre, okay, that's 1 litre, that's 1 litre, and each of these is, well, if it's 0.9 kilograms per litre, that's 0.9 kilograms, and that's 0.9 kilograms. What's the total mass? The total mass is 1.8 kilograms. All right, good. So if we now move on over the page, we can see that we've got just a little bit more to go through, but I'm going to put that into a second video. So we'll leave this one here and I'll see you in the next video.